Here we're asked to come up with the equation for this exponential function, and we're going to write this in the exponential form y equals a times b to the power of x plus k. So first things first, this dashed line represents the asymptote, which I know is going to be my k value. So I already have one of these variables kind of figured out here, which is going to be positive 1. Now, I probably should change that color actually. So from here, once I've kind of plugged that in, I'm going to plug in the other two reference points that I'm given. So this blue point here, I'm going to plug in for y, -5, a times b to the power of, and we'll plug in the x value of 3. And then for this second point, I have 4, -11. So I'm plugging in -11 for y and 4 for b. Now, I have two equations with two variables, and now I can solve this using a system of equations. So I'll come back to double check on this graph in just a second, but first, I'm going to take this first equation and I'm going to solve for a. So I'm going to subtract 1 from both sides here, and then I'm going to divide both sides by b to the power of 3. So a is equal to -6 over b cubed. So we're going to use this, and we're going to plug that into this second equation here. So what that'll look like is -11 equals, and then my a value is -6 over b cubed. I'm multiplying that by b to the power of 4. So I'm actually going to put that like b to the power of 4 over 1 so I can multiply that on the top. And at the end, I add 1 here. So once I plug that in, I have to simplify. And the nice part about these is that because I have b to the power of 4 over b to the power of 3, that cancels out 3 of those b's and leaves me with just 1 b left over. So now I have -11 equals -6b plus 1, and now it's a fairly straightforward problem to solve. So now I'm going to subtract 1 from both sides, divide by -6 from both sides, and my b value is 2. Last thing I need to do is find my a value, so I'm going to plug this b back in over here, and I get a equals -6 over 2 cubed, which is 8. Simplify my fraction to -3/4. That's my a value. So my final equation here of the graph is going to be y equals -3/4 as my a value, 2 as my b value, and 1 as my k value. And now just to double check this graph here, it makes sense that it's pointing down because I have a negative a value. My asymptote all makes sense, and I'm all finished.